song tonight. Oh,
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
well done you.
Oh, what fun it is to ride when the sun gets high. Hey!
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride one horse open sleigh. Thank you very much. Plenty of that. Can you wiggle them down? Can you touch your ear? Can you touch your other ear? Can you touch your nose? Can you touch your other nose? You're so hard to think about that, sir. Okay. Yeah, just like I am with English. Okay, so so we'll tell this story. This is a very old story. This story is called The Elves and the Shoemaker. Everybody, hands in the air, do it now. The snow was falling down, and in that part of Germany there was a man. He was old and he was cold. Can you do that with me? Ready? He was old and he was cold. And this man used to hammer and stitch and sew and make shoes because he was a shoemaker. And everybody didn't go to his part of town where he had his shop. But one day all he had was enough money for one piece of leather. Can you do that with me? One piece of leather. He was old. Are you ready? He was old and he was cold. And he cut out the shape of the shoes and he put them on top of the table and he went to his bed. But the very next day he could not believe his eyes because there was a pair of shoes and he gasped. It was much louder than that, and he gasped. He couldn't believe his eyes. There was a beautiful pair of shoes, and he shouted for his wife. Are you all ready? You're going to shout wife after 3. 1, 2, 3. Wife! He said, wife, did you make those shoes? And his wife said, you are the shoemaker inside of this house. And he looked at the shoes and they were beautifully made. And he placed them in the window. You've got to be much quicker than this. And he placed them in the window. Well done you, madam. And he placed them in the window. And it just so happened that there was a man walking by. And this man was from Hexham. And he looked at the shoes and he said, oh, look at those shoes, what you have got in the window there.
They lack beautiful levity.
This is English, by the way. And I've got to tell you this. He looked at the shoes and he knocked on the door. Can you do that with me? Ready? I haven't done it yet. And he... It's going to be one of those nights. And he knocked on the door. Now, here's Tom. He's played at the Royal Albert Hall. He's played all over the world. And now he's going to show you all of those years of work that he put in when he was studying how to play the violin. This is the summit of his career. You ready? And the door opened up. See, all of that teaching gone to waste. Okay, and the door opened up. Can you make the noise with us? Ready? And the door opened up. And he said, I would like to buy those shoes that you have in the window. How much do you want for the shoes? And the old shoemaker said, I'd like to have 5 pieces of gold. Can you show me a handful? Can you like this? 5 pieces of gold. What a lovely audience you are. And he got to say, and the rich man looked and said, 5 pieces of gold?
Oh my goodness.
5 pieces of gold? I'm not going to give you 5 pieces of gold. Show me 2 handfuls. I'm going to give you 10 pieces of gold. And he counted it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. And the old man and the old woman, they danced. Show me how they danced. Show your hands. You could not believe them. They had all of this gold. 10 pieces of gold for 1 pair of shoes. And they bought some food. And the snow fell down. Can you make that snow fall down? Please don't ignore me. Please don't ignore me. The snow fell down. Well done you. And the snow fell down. And now they had enough money for 2 pieces of leather. Can you show me 2 thumbs? 2 pieces of leather. And he cut out the shape of the shoes. he was old and he was cold. But his wife was curious. And at the tick and tock of midnight, can you do that with me? At the tick and tock of midnight, she crept down the stairs, and as she looked there, she could see two heads, no bigger than your thumb. Show me how small they were. She saw two legs, as long as your fingers, and two arms as long as your fingers, because there at the back of the shop, there were two elves. And they climbed up to the top of the table, and they hammered, and they stitched, and they sewed, and they made the shoes, and the old woman gasped. We've had a rehearsal of this, it's got to be louder than that. And the old woman gasped. She thought those two little men had made those shoes. But when she looked at them, they had hats on their head that were old and ragged. They had shirts upon their back that were thin and torn. They had trousers on their legs that were old and no shoes upon their feet.
Bit like me, look.
And no shoes upon their feet. And she said to her husband the next day, "They have made the shoes for us. We put them in the window, and all of the people from Hull, Whistle and beyond come to this place and buy the shoes. It is now Christmas Day. We need to make something for them." And instead of cutting the leather, the old shoemaker and his wife made shirts, they made trousers and hats and shoes. And on the Christmas night, this very night, they waited and watched, and at the tick and tock of midnight, well done, you're very good. The tick and tock of midnight, they saw two heads. They saw two arms, they saw two legs, and the little elves climbed up the table, ready to hammer, to stitch and sew. And they saw the hats, the shirts, the trousers, the shoes, and they put them on, and they fitted beautifully. The shirts were just the right size, the trousers fitted beautifully, and the shoes were just the right size, and the two little elves, they started to dance, right? And they danced this way and that and up and down, and they looked at each other, and they looked where their clothes fitted, and then they stopped. Because I'll tell you this, the clothes fitted so beautifully, they knew someone must have seen them. I know you know this, but we're going to tell you anyway. If you ever get to see an elf, they will never return to your house. But from that time, people would walk past and buy the shoes that the shoemaker made. And then, every Christmas Eve, they would put two loaves, no bigger than your little fingers. They would put two cups of wine, no bigger than your thumbs. And as the snow would fall down, they would leave them, and every Christmas morning, the bread would be gone. Well done you. And the loaves would be gone, so they knew that they were still there. And that old shoemaker, he might have been old, but with all of the money and a great roaring fire, he was never cold again. Thank you very much. That's lovely. Have you all had a good Christmas?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Goes like this. What does a dog say? Woof, woof, woof. What does a cat say? Oh, the conservatoire are so proud of you. And what does a mouse say? Squeak, squeak, squeak. Or what does Santa say? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! What do you? Or what does a cow say? Moo, moo. And what does a sheep say? And what does a pig say? Oink, oink, oink. Or what does Santa say? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Take it away, big boy. Oh, what does a monkey say? Oh, 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 oh. It's the staring I can't stand. Oh, what does a monkey say? Oh, 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 oh. And what does an elephant say?
That's a hard one.
Come on, everybody stick one arm on the side of your head like this. What does an elephant say? And what does a giraffe say?
Oh, it's a really long neck.
But what does Santa say? Ho, 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 Merry Christmas! This is for all the grown-ups who've had to sort of like sit and watch CBeebies all the time, okay? Here we go. Oh, what does Bing say? It's a Bing thing. It's the wettest program on television. And what does Buzz Lightyear say? To infinity and beyond. And what does Shrek say? Donkey, donkey. What does Santa say? Ho, 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 Merry Christmas! Can we do the last one really quietly? Right, here we go. What does a dog say? What does a cat say? What does a snake say? You're going to do this loud, aren't you? What does what does what does Santa say? Ho, 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 Merry Christmas! Give yourselves a big round of applause. Well done, you. Stories all the time, we're going to ask people to help us by taking things out of the bag, and I'm going to use my imagination to make up a story. So I think we should start this story the best way we can, which is Once Upon a Winter's Time. Now, is there anybody who'd like to take something out of this bag?
You knew it would be me.
Oh.
That's why you said
Say,
it.
show the charge to the child out of the way. All you got to do is put your hand in the bag and take something out. That's there you go. Take something out.
Oh.
Which one's your son?
Both of them, Matthew and Nicholas. What? Oh. So
You're determined. I like that in a woman.
I take something out. Just
Yeah,
anything.
one.
Just anything.
Thank you very much. Well done, you. Once upon a time, in the middle of the winter, the moon was high and round in the sky. There was a woman, and this woman was sitting and she was eating. She did not have much in this world, but as she sat and ate, she smiled. She smiled and she remembered all the things that had happened in the past, on other Christmas times. Would you like to come and take something out this time? Come and take something out of the bag? That's it, there you go. I won't move the bag. A lot. Oh, she gave me such a... Thank you very much, well done you. Do you know something? Do you want to sit down for me, please? Do you know something? She looked, and there she was. Now, the snow had fallen all the way down a chimney, and the snow had made a circle of snow And as the moon was shining, she looked at it and she could see that there were pictures from the past, times when the children had been in that place. Would you like to come take something out of the bag? That's it, there you go. I won't move the bag. Do you know the determination in this argument? Thank you very much. Well done, you.
Well done.
I didn't know what that was for a second. And it was then that she heard a great knock upon the door. Can you do it with me? A great knock upon the door, and she saw a stranger standing there. The stranger had a pack upon his back. She did not know this face. It had a long beard upon you. Just one thing.
Nice one.
Well done, you. Very good. Do you know something? The two of them sat there all of that time and ate the finest of foods. And from that time they would always reminisce when the snow would fall, when she thought there was a stranger at her door, but it was all along her son. And people would hear this, and they would laugh and smile and love the story of a stranger who was her son. And there's a story that came on the back. You play something.
Good dancing. Well done.
Well, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. You know I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. Well, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. You know I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Such a charm. dum dum, Santa Claus is coming to town. The kids and girl and boyland will have a jubilee when the corner build a toyland town all around that Christmas tree. So you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, you know I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, you'd better watch out,